Can you tell I was listening to Amy Winehouse while I was getting dressed? Yeah. Do not listen to Amy Winehouse while you are doing your makeup unless you want to make it look like you are in fact possessed by Amy Winehouse when you do your makeup. About these links on fleek. What's up everybody, it's your girl Emily Doll back with another episode of Daily Dose of Doll. Welcome back to the second episode since the returning of the series. I'm glad to have you here. I released my last Daily Dose of Doll last week? Week before last. And you guys really responded well to it. It was one of my most watched videos on my channel in quite some time. Somebody's gonna be very happy to hear about that. We will discuss that later on. But the last episode of Daily Dose of Doll was done on a topic that was really just a loose discussion of a situation that so many girls can relate to on the internet, and even men on the internet, to be honest. And it got a lot of attention and a lot of interaction, which kind of also was done by somebody who helped inspire that episode. And that would be the episode of the dick pic offender when he first made his appearance. And I recently asked you guys on my Facebook page, I crossed it over to my Instagram. I was gonna do the next episode of Daily Dose of Doll, and what did you guys want the topic to be on? You guys decided, so here is going to be the release of the second video decided by the DollFAM squad. And that is an update on the dick pic offender. So if you do not know who the dick pic offender is, make sure that you watch my video from last episode. You can find the link below. And that was on Daily Dose of Doll discusses dick pics. And that video was inspired by somebody who had recently sent me a dick pic. Now, I get sent dick pics all the time. All the time. The amount of dick pics that I delete and ignore could wallpaper the Roman Colosseum completely rebuilt and restored. Yeah. So I knew I wanted to start up Daily Dose of Doll again, and I really have a hard time with my anxiety and being consistent with my channel. That's 100% factual, I can admit to that. And one of the shows that I used to do on my channel was Daily Dose of Doll, where I would just kind of do shorter rants talking about all different topics, things that people can relate to, things that I've been through. I share my perspective, I ask you your perspective, yada yada yada. That's kind of how this type of blogging goes, right? So I didn't really know always what to do it on, and I really stressed myself out, and so I decided that I would do them as I was inspired by things. It's a great way to really be in the moment, really be feeling what you have to say, really be thinking about it and share it. And that's what I did with my last episode. A guy who had never followed me before that I know of, definitely had never messaged me, sent me a message over my Instagram. All of this was done through Instagram, by the way. No Facebook interaction, or I don't know, it would have been probably a little different. Sorry about the lighting. We have a storm going on all of a sudden here in Texas. It's a little dark. But he had sent me a message, and I opened it, and things kind of got crazy from there. And it definitely turned into something that I hadn't anticipated it turning into, or was my idea to turn it into. But that's where we're at. I asked you guys on my Facebook page what you wanted the video to be. You guys requested Dick Pic Offender 2, an update on the temper tantrum. If you did not pick this, if this is not what you voted for, if you're feeling a little salty because this is a topic you just don't care about and you don't want to listen to, have no fear, Marshes of the page, because there will be more content, more videos, more topics that perk your interest more. So feel free to skip this one, but we're gonna get right into the video on what happened after I posted my first Daily Dose of Doll discusses dick pics. It was a wild ride. So after this gentleman sent me this dick pic and I made a video based off the interaction, I made sure that I did not out who this person was, because that was not my intention. You know, the internet can be a really dark, cruel place where people grab onto things and just run wild with them. And there's a lot of things that other people might do with something that I put out that I don't condone and am not comfortable with. I'm definitely not one to try to ruin somebody's life over one bad choice. When I first interacted with this person, I thought, you know, like always, I try to talk some sense into them. I try to leave some type of positive seed from the ignorance and from the frustration of the situation. And, you know, I told this guy, like, do something better with your life. This isn't the way to go. I blocked him on 2 accounts that he came at me from. I blocked him from his first account, and then he came at me from a meme account, which I eventually blocked as well after a few conversations back and forth. All very generic. You know, just basically me trying to say, dude, this isn't okay. How are you still doing this with all of the memes and stuff out there that literally make fun of guys like you who do this? Do you not know that you're just going to be a screenshot for girls to laugh at later? But he had a very entitled attitude, a very, he was just very ignorant. Like, he thought that what he was doing was a good thing. He even stated at one point that, you know, he gets girls all the time this way. I've seen a few comments say that as well, and immediately my mind is just like, where? But where? Like, where's the proof of that? I've literally never seen one screenshot ever of that either working for a guy or a guy gloating that that worked for them. And I'm sure they'd have the argument of, well, yeah, we just don't have to post about it like girls do. Bullshit. Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit. There's several guys on my Facebook feed who post this type of stuff about girls all the time. All the time. I see it in my feed. Them literally saying the same thing, but with the genders swapped. So that's bullshit. Not to mention, if one of y'all was sending a dick pic to some random girl on the internet and it actually got you something, somebody somewhere would be posting about it. That is how people work. It might not be how you personally work, but there's a good majority of people who work that way. So I didn't include this person's information because I just wanted to talk about the subject. I wanted to talk about you know, just the mindset behind it, the questions that I have, and just kind of joke about the ridiculousness that is the fact that guys still think it's okay to send dick pics. Just random strange girls. And I didn't talk about this guy, but at the very end, I did thank the guy who sent me the most recent dick pic in the screenshot. And in the screenshot, which I literally have the entire conversation of every conversation from this guy who, that there was. Like, I literally screenshotted everything so I would have proof if something transpired. But this is the screenshot that I used in my video. And naturally, he's, you know, I don't think it's cool to put nudes out of people, even if they deserve that type of public spanking. That's not something that I personally want to be involved in doing. So I did censor that out. I don't think it's cool to just put people's nudity out there, whether they're assholes or not. That's just me. And then I also cropped out his name. I posted the video and a lot of you guys enjoyed it. Like, it had a lot of interaction. So many girls either laughing or sharing their stories. There was a lot of guys, of course, who weighed in as well. There's always like 3 different types of guys. There's the guys who feel like they have to apologize for these guys, who you don't have to apologize for them. They need to own their own behavior. This has nothing to do with the male race. This has everything to do with people being gross, okay? It's not a gender thing. I've had this type of thing done to me by women as well. There was one girl on Facebook that would not stop sexually harassing me to the point where I had to block her. We were friends on Facebook for a while, and every post was just her trying to push me into showing her my boobs, doing this. She would send me pictures of her boobs, and a lot of people would say, well, it's probably a guy. No, it was a girl. I was friends with her for a long time on Facebook. I'm aware of who the person was. She was 100% a female, 100% a lesbian, all of which was okay, but the fact that she consistently sexually harassed me when I told her I was not only straight, but in a very committed relationship that she did not respect, I had to block her, just like I've had to do with guys. Like, people are gross, 100%. Then you have the guys who are just like, you just need to shut up about this and stop talking about it. Nobody cares. Like, clearly you're offended. Clearly this is all you can talk about. You just need to stop. Like, what's wrong with you? And it's like, these are the guys who don't really think it's a big deal to begin with, for the most part. They don't think that sending a dick pic to a girl online randomly that you don't know is really that big of a deal, and she should just sit down and shut up. And that's an ignorant thing. This is something that people actually go through, even though you don't have to have a personal emotional opinion on this because you don't go through it, but there's a lot of people who do. And that's who I'm talking to, and that's who wants to watch this. And if it's not something you relate to, like, move along. But I think it's really, I just think it's an ignorant, naive thing to say, that girls complaining that they're tired of having to see guys' dicks in their inbox every time they open a message, like, we're wrong for being upset about that. Do you know what I mean? Like, the fact that you're upset, that I'm upset about being sexually harassed online by strangers, I mean, who really is the person with a bigger, like, moral issue here? This guy kind of made sure that people knew who he was. He started messaging girls in my comment feed who were vocally either talking about either talking shit about his what he was packing, or, you know, just sharing their opinions on how they agree, that they think that it's disgusting, they're tired of it, it's ridiculous. You know, and he didn't like that. He didn't like that people were calling him out. He was getting, you know, a lot of negative feedback because he had created another account to follow me on, and my Instagram's public so he could see it. And that's what he did. He was just kind of feeding, and what he started doing was messaging girls who were leaving comments. And not only was he messaging them, telling them that, you know, how dare they watch that video, he can't believe they watched that video, that, you know, he's gonna out them for talking shit, that he's gonna do this, threatening, just all kinds of emotional reactions, basically. And then he was going as far as just sending pictures of his dick to the girls who were making small dick jokes, even though nobody knew it was him. Which is kind of confusing because he was so proud of it. Like, you're so proud of your dick that you're sending it out to people all over the internet. Why do you care? But that was his biggest complaint, was that, you know, there was a lot of girls making comments about how small he was. And I would just like to state that for me, when it comes to dick pics, like unsolicited dick pics, I don't care. Like, it's irrelevant. Dicks literally come in every size, shape, color, and pointing in every direction you can think of, just like vaginas and just like boobs. Like, for girls, and a lot of the girls that, you know, I mean, I love you guys all, and I don't think that any of you really probably even see it this way, but in my opinion, talking shit about a guy's penis size or what it looks like or what color it is no different than a guy talking shit about what a girl's vagina looks like. And we all know vaginas come in all types of forms. So for us to be talking shit about some guy's, you know, what his God-given stuff is really no better than guys talking shit about a girl's vagina. And a lot of girls will get mad at that, and they'll be like, well, that has nothing to do with how the female anatomy is, and, you know, labia looks like all different things, and labia comes in all different sizes, and there's all different colors. And girls get really offended when, you know, guys talk shit about things that are not true or factual, don't matter. Like, your personal choice in penis size is your personal choice in penis size. That's the only time that it's relevant, right? Is if it's with a consenting penis. But some random penis that shows up in my inbox, what color it is, what shape it is, if it's pointing at the camera, away from the camera, if it looks like it's looking into the other room, none of that is relevant to me. The only thing that I care about is what you're doing with it. And right now, what you're doing with it is you're sexually harassing people. That's the only only problem here. Yeah, that's it. That's all. That's the only problem. So I just wanted to put that out there. I don't think it's fair that when guys do that, like, that's the first thing we go to, because that's technically body shaming in a sense. Do they deserve it? They put themselves in that spot. It's not something that I want to partake in, because it's just not where my brain goes. Like, I don't give a shit about that. But I mean, people are gonna make fun of you if you do that. That's automatically where a lot of people are gonna go. And when you act badly, when your behavior is wrong, you can't always expect people to be patient with you or correct you in a nice way. And that's just who I am. Like, I tell these guys, come on. I know that you have more to offer than this. What are you doing? But not everybody's gonna react that way. A lot of people are just gonna react. And I've made comments 100%. There's no way that I can say that I haven't made jokes about the size issue. And that came from one of his biggest complaints when he created another account to come at me from. One of his biggest complaints was that I didn't make him bigger when I censored his photograph. And I mean, I'm sorry that I didn't censor you larger than you were. I thought you were proud of what you already had. I was just trying to embrace natural beauty. So this guy spent a lot of time harassing other women in my feed, 100%. He made sure that people knew that it was him. He was messaging people from his personal account, not just his troll accounts or his fake accounts, whatever accounts he has. He's literally messaging these girls. I have this, like, they were sending me screenshots. He wanted people to know who he was, I guess. I don't know, but he created another account, I think it was a day or two after I posted the video, and he started messaging me, acting like he was a totally different person. Like, he was just this random follower. His screen name was just a bunch of jumbled letters, no picture, no activity, no, it was literally created to message me. And that was evident. And I played the game a little bit, you know. They sent me a message just saying I was pathetic, that I needed to, you know, not treat people that way, what's wrong with me. Super generic, just I'm offended mentality. And I immediately, like, if you're going to defend this behavior and be mad at me for just talking about something I went through that I didn't ask to go through, like, he brought me in and put me in this situation. So now here I am talking about this situation that I was put in. I literally cropped out his name. I didn't disclose any personal information. I didn't even, like, talk about him really in the video other than the situation. Like, I've done everything I can to go above and beyond somebody who already didn't deserve it. And you're mad at me? You're offended at me for talking about it openly? Oh my God. Clutch your pearls. Katie, bar the door. It didn't take long for me to figure out that this was literally this kid that, and I say kid because clearly he's not a mature, grown individual. He's got a very, I really think at this point there's a lot of people in this world that are regressing. And these are the type of interactions that I have that make me think that, because it's like, if you still can think in today's world that this behavior is okay, like, how are you functioning in the real world? And I think that's why I try to be patient initially, is because you never know what somebody's dealing with mentally, and it could be a severe mental problem that makes somebody lash out like this. Is that okay? Is that an excuse? Hell no. And I mean, it became very obvious with talking with him that this was just some guy who really thought he was untouchable, that he thought that he could do what he wanted and that people just had to deal with it. And I started talking to him on this other account. I was very blunt, like, if you don't like my content, you don't have to watch it. Okay, you don't agree with me calling out bad behavior, that's fine. You don't have to agree with me. I don't agree with you. I'm not sorry for the video I posted. I'm not taking my video down. I'm not making a public announcement of you shouldn't talk about people who sexually harass you openly on the internet. Like, I'm not sorry for anything. This is a pointless conversation. Do you feel like you've put me in my place? Because ultimately that's what he was trying to do. under this invisibility cloak of pretending he was another person. He was trying to come at me acting like somebody else to put me in my place. That was his goal. So I said that. Do you feel validated? You told me off. You let me know you weren't happy with my content about this. Do you feel better? Do you feel validated? Here is your internet cookie for the day. Like, what do you want from me? I'm not sorry. This is going nowhere. And then he started saying things that were more and more obvious that it was this original guy who sent it to me, and I just told him, I was like, hey Zach, how are you doing? Are you doing okay? And he was just like, I'm well, thank you. I was like, look at you being honest, saying that yes it is you and it's not a random person, because he tried to keep that up for a while, but I called him on it. And that's when he started letting me know that, you know, I was just doing this for views and I should be ashamed of myself. And I laughed because it's like, your dick is not special. Like, you didn't get views, the topic got views. Your dick is not that special. Not to mention, nobody knew it was you, Zachy, before you decided to out yourself. So this conversation that we had was pretty fun. It was mind-blowing. You know, it's when he said that I was supposed to be grateful I wasn't supposed to take it this far, that I realized he still wasn't sorry. He was upset because he was getting attention that he didn't want. And that's what he said to me. You know, I kept getting messages, I didn't realize you had this many followers. Things that were very obvious, that he was upset that he clearly had bit off more than he could chew and he couldn't deal with it. And he wanted me to take back everything so he didn't have to be put in this uncomfortable place. And I think that that's really unfair. And I will tell you why. I have to stay hydrated. My anxiety makes me talk fast, fun fact. And I start getting really scratchy, so I still get anxiety when I do videos. So if you're trying to start a YouTube channel and you're scared, just know, even some of us who have been doing it for almost 10 years still feel the same way. Hashtag push for your dreams. Like my cup, it's from the Pinned Up Doll. Check her out. She's pretty rad. She makes a lot of really cool things. So the conversation with me and this guy ended when he had said, and I think that was like basically the last comment that he had said, was, I didn't expect all this. I'm getting messages that I don't want to get. There's people contacting me. Just make this stop. I don't like this. And I told him, you know, I was like, why don't you, I tried saying all kinds of things, like, why don't you go sell those online? I mean, clearly you're okay with showing your naked body to people, right? You're proud of your dick. There's nothing wrong with that. Just use it in consenting, non-sexual harassing ways. Like, if you're okay with putting pictures of your dick out there, go be a cam boy. That's a thing. Go make money. Go show it off to women who want to pay to see it. There ain't nothing wrong with that, right? That's a thing. That's a choice people make. I'm not here to knock that choice. That's when he said he had more money than I even knew what to do with. So I was like, oh, okay, so we're egotistical in this way too. I told him, good job. I don't know why that's relevant, but good job. Okay, awesome. I told him, you know, why don't you go find a nice girl and then you guys can enjoy your peen together. And that's when he said that he did have a girlfriend, and that was kind of the biggest problem, is he was afraid somebody was gonna find out. And that put me in an all new thing, because I was like, oh great, there's a girl out there that's an actual victim. Like, I don't really see myself as a victim when it comes to dick pics, because I mean, they're not hurting me. Are they annoying? Are they frustrating? Are they disgusting? Hell yeah, they're all those things. But it can't hurt me. I don't allow it to hurt me. I think that there's some people out there that it could, I guess, trigger and upset to an emotional distraughtness. But I mean, it's a picture. These guys are definitely worse off than I am. I have nothing, it's not affecting me in any way. Oh, I made this video that was funny, that everybody could relate to. Great, but it can't hurt me. And there's a girl out there that's possibly with this guy who's doing these things. What else is he doing behind her back? So that's really the hurtful thing, in my opinion. Like, to do that to somebody else is just gross. And if you want to send If you want to share your dick with a bunch of other women, however you choose to do that, break up with her. Have enough balls, for lack of a better term, and respect to break up with that person and let them have a chance with somebody who actually loves and respects them and isn't going to treat them that way. Or be honest, be like, this is what I'm into, this is what I like to do, are you okay with this? And she might be like, yeah, that's great, I'm all about it, I'll help you take the pictures. People are into weird things, right? And everybody has their right to whatever their weird thing is, and you just don't know what it is. But to not be honest with somebody you've agreed to be in a relationship with, a committed relationship with, is unfair and wrong. And that's really the real victim in this situation, I think. All because you are using her as a pacifier. Like, she's your, and this is totally me just talking on my ass because I don't know anything about your relationship, but like, this girl is there for you, she's investing her time in you, she loves you, you guys are building whatever relationship she thinks that you're building. If she doesn't know all the facts, that's not fair. She's going into a relationship completely blind and unequally. So for you to hide that, it's almost more gross than sending the dick pic. Like, I'm more grossed out by that behavior than I was by your dick pic. Just saying. So, grow some balls, and it may make you uncomfortable to break up with her, but clearly, like, you don't respect or care about that person enough to not do things that you know is gonna hurt them. I ended up finally blocking his last account that he had made to come at me from, because I was done with the banter. And when one of his last messages was, I wasn't expecting this, I was just expecting you to be thankful or grateful. And I'm like, what? You're not a victim. You're not a victim here. So you're telling me that you want me to respect you, respect your feelings, respect your privacy, not put you in an uncomfortable situation, be understanding, be sympathetic. Like, you want me to be all these things to you over a situation you literally did to yourself. You went out of your way to do to yourself. 100%. Like, I made sure nobody knew you even existed. Like, well, they knew you existed, but they didn't know how to find you. And you commented from all your accounts, you sent out private messages, you're like harassing girls. He told me that he had posted about me in some of his groups, and there was a couple guys in the comment feeds that were posting like super generic trash talk. Like, if she's gonna act like a whore on the internet, she's gonna be treated like a whore. That's literally what one guy said. I'm sorry. You literally are speaking of the definition that would be given to your friend that you're here defending. Like, the social definition of acting like a whore by society would be the behavior that your friend is doing by sending me naked photos of themselves without asking, and then when blocked, making sure that they continue their harassment and whoring themselves out by making new accounts to come at me from. Now, I'm not a big fan of the whole, well, you're a whore if you're gonna act like a whore. People, like, that's different to different people. But by, like, dictionary standard, your friend is the one acting like a whore. So why are you here? Why are you even here? Why are you here, though? Like, why are you here? And that's kind of what a lot of the comments from the guys who came to White Knight for their buddy was leaving, and it was just so irrelevant. Like, you didn't even have to have a conversation with them, and most people didn't. Most of the people in my comment feeds actually shut them down pretty quick, because everything they were saying was just so unfactual and so stupid that you didn't have to say anything. They said it all themselves. He thinks he's safe. His biggest concern was that I had a screenshot of him fully nude, which I would never have or keep in my phone. Everything that I had was censored. Like, I don't want pictures of your dick in my phone, dude. I don't plan on going out and like destroying your life. But you need to realize that there's other people out there that will, 100%. And you're putting yourself in that position. If you do not want to be put in a position where you're held accountable or you have to go through things that you would only go through by exhibiting bad, disgusting behavior and involving other people involuntarily in that behavior, you're gonna have to, I mean, you're gonna have to roll with the punches, my dude. You're just gonna have to. Like, sending out unsolicited dick pics is not a thing to do. It's not. You are literally going to be screenshot and mocked later with whoever you send it to, all of their friends, their significant other, who knows how many Facebook groups that have been literally created to mock guys who send dick pics. Like, it's not sexy, it's not hot, I'm not turned on. I've never seen one woman that does, and that was an argument in the comments by some of the guys. Well, what doesn't work for one woman works for another. Where? Like, I'm still waiting for that proof. I'm still waiting for that proof. That's a stupid argument. It's a dumb argument. Saying, don't talk about it and it won't happen. Like, stop feeding the trolls and they'll leave you alone. I'm here to tell you, it's been almost 10 years that I started my social platforms. Not talking about it doesn't do anything at all. The argument of saying, well, you put yourself on the internet, or you dress this way, or you act this way, which means you're asking for it, again, is the dumbest argument I've ever heard. Like, literally women of all walks of life who look like every different type of woman in the world, like literally women who have more lockdown profiles and keep to themselves get more dick pics than I do. Like, you don't, there is no thing that you do. It's not like this lifestyle we live that gives us these dick holes in our DMs sending us these. Like, that's an ignorant thing to say. It's ignorant. If you don't like somebody talking about something that's upset them that somebody else did to them without their consent, okay, you don't have to like it, but to be in a comment feed bitching about why you feel salty because this person is talking about something they went through and you don't like listening to it, like, just move on. Like, you're not a part of the discussion. You don't have anything to bring to the discussion. Really, you think it's okay. You think that girls should just ignore it and move on with your life. That'd be great. Like, we literally can't even open our messages without this kind of shit all the time. All the time. And I'll tell you how ignorant and stupid some of the mindsets are. So after I posted about this, I was put in Facebook jail. Why was I put in Facebook jail for 30 days? Because Facebook has an extremely warped standard. And it's not really just one standard, because I see it constantly all over everything. People of all types are attacked. All types. I see one side, then I see the other side. So it's really sporadic. But I have been put in Facebook jail twice for guys who've sent me dick pics. 100%. The first guy sent me a dick pic. When I told him I wasn't interested, proceeded to call me a whore, a slut, a bitch, because I didn't want his dick pic. So not wanting a dick pic clearly means you're a whore by a lot of these dudes' standards. Go figure. And I reported that message. I reported those messages. I reported the dick pic. Facebook told me he did not violate any community standards. Okay? I called him out publicly on my page. He reported that as bullying or hate speech, and I was put in Facebook jail. This time again, this guy is literally going, I've reported all his messages, I've blocked him on all these platforms, I've done everything I could. Facebook has done nothing, Instagram has done nothing. He reports my post on Facebook that was 100% in community guidelines. I made sure I censored the photograph. There was nothing explicit. Censored photography is what you have to post, right? 100%. Didn't have his information, nothing. He reported it as sexual content. I get 30 days. What? But it was okay for his behavior. But sending dick pics seems to be an okay thing to Facebook. But taking a screenshot and then censoring it out to less than what I had to see and posting that can be reported and I can be put in Facebook jail. Tell me how that's logical. Oh, it's not. Go figure. That's how Facebook rolls these days. I don't know why I'm still surprised, to be honest. I would like to put out a disclaimer. In closing of this video, I would like to put out a disclaimer that I do not want to see your dick. Okay? Ever. I never want to see your dick. If you didn't know that sending a dick pic at this point in humanity is not an okay thing to do, now you know. I don't understand how anybody couldn't know that, but now you know. If you've watched this, you're welcome. Also, what I think is really funny is that I was recently sent, it is now a crime in Texas, and I don't know how like factual this is. I haven't really looked into the truth behind it, but I'm seeing it posted all of a sudden that in Texas it's now considered a Class C misdemeanor to send nudes, which is up to a $500 fine. However, if a minor sent the pictures to harass, embarrass, or abuse, or offend somebody, then it would be enhanced to a Class B misdemeanor, which is punishable up to 180 days in jail and reaches up to $2,000 fines here in Texas. I'm not 100% sure how factual that is, but if that is something that's happening, I think that that's awesome. I don't think you should be able to, I mean, you're not allowed to flash people in public. Facebook and social media are public domains. It should be considered the exact same thing. It's not okay. Don't do it. I don't want to see it. I made a joke in one of my lives that these guys, I always think it's funny how it's obvious that they don't even put any time or effort into their dick pics. Because like the posing is terrible, the lighting is terrible, the angle is terrible. I was just making a joke. And some guy sent me an email asking that if he properly lit and angled his dick, would I be interested in seeing some of photos of his cock and balls? And I was like, are you kidding me right now? First of all, I need to know if this is a joke, because if this is a joke, ha 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 ha, so funny. Secondly, if it's not a joke, holy fuck. Holy fuck. Stay away from Tide Pods if you actually were serious. That's gonna wrap up this episode of Daily Dose of Doll. I'm pretty sure I probably ranted over way longer than I should have. Please bear with me. I am trying to get control of my anxiety talk where I just kind of ramble. But I think I'm doing okay. I'm getting there, I'm working hard. That's gonna wrap this up. I could say in closing that I was pretty shocked that this guy pretty much had the mentality that what he had given me was a gift of, you know, that I needed to be thankful for. Showing me his dick was something I should be thankful for. I needed to respect him and take down my video, and I should feel bad for what I did, and he was getting all this attention that he didn't like and didn't want. I was just doing it for views, and I was such a big bad girl, how dare me. You know, it was really demanding the total opposite behavior of how he treats people in the world. Whether it be me, whether it be his girlfriend who doesn't know he sends dick pics to girls on the internet, you know, whoever it is. What it comes down to is a mindset here that we're talking about. It's not like the dick pic or that we're, oh my god, it's a dick. We've all seen dicks. Like, not to mention there's so many things in nature that look like dicks. Like, dicks are everywhere. They're not that, I have a coloring book full of little tiny dicks. Writing unicorns. Like, it's not necessarily that as much as it's the mindset. It's the mindset that somebody thinks that they can sexually harass somebody that they don't know, and then going that far is bad enough, but then when you let them know you don't like it, please don't do this, like as soon as you turn down that advance, it goes into some really horrible abuse. Women can go through some really horrible online verbal abuse from guys who think it's okay to send dick pics. I have been called every name in the book. Like, as soon as I have told a guy, please don't send me dick pics or I'm gonna block you from my page, it's immediately, you're a slut, you're a whore, you're this. They try to like take all these cheap shots, and it's all really generic stuff, really. that is irrelevant because none of it's true, so it doesn't matter. But I mean, it's gross stuff. Like, you just get berated. Like, these guys just try to destroy you because you said you didn't, sorry, I don't want your dick pic. And that's the thing that's scary, is that you have these mentalities out there walking around public. If they think it's okay to behave like that online, how long before they start, or if they already do? So that's really the concerning thing here, is that there are people out there in the world that do in fact behave this way, that do in fact think this is okay. And by us talking about it, and us bringing awareness to this mentality and being like, hey, this is a mindset, this is actually how people think, can we do something about this? And if that's in fact true, that Texas is making it, you know, a class B misdemeanor or a class this misdemeanor and fines and things like that, that means that people are starting to be held accountable for these types of things. And I think that that's really awesome, because it's not okay behavior. And sure, it's easy enough to just say, hey, just ignore it, it's your fault for interacting, just block them. I literally blocked this person 3 times because they continued to make more accounts to further harass me and further yell at me for something that I didn't even do. I didn't do it. I was put into a situation that I didn't want to be in. I kept saying I didn't want to be in that situation. I kept removing myself and doing everything that I could to remove myself from that situation. They continued to keep coming at me. They literally doxed me in groups. They put me in groups telling people to go harass me because I didn't like their sexual harassment to begin with. They go out of their way to then sexually harass and verbally harass my followers. That's a problem. And if that's something that you think is okay and just needs to be swept under the rug, then when it happens to you, sweep it under the rug. Go ahead. I don't want that dirty ass shit under my rug. I'm a very clean person. I put it out there. I talk about it. So that's really the problem. Women are done dealing with a mindset that's literally going backwards from how far we've all evolved over all of these years. And it can be overbearing, and it can be upsetting, and it can be frustrating. And I think that we've shown that in the interaction on this video, and how much you guys have shared and talked about it and left your comments. Like, you guys are saying, no, we're done with this. This is something that we relate to. This is something we want to talk about and discuss with one another. And I appreciate you guys sharing all of that stuff. If you don't like this topic, or it's a topic that makes you feel a little pissy because you don't think I should be talking about it, move on. Like, just keep scrolling, because I'm not going to stop talking about real things. Thanks for watching this episode of D.D.O.D. If you guys want to see the initial video that started all of this, you can find it on the D.D.O.D playlist, or you can find a link below. I want to thank all of you who have been interacting in this discussion. If you guys want to see bonus footage, bonus content, some of the funniest things that the dick pic offender said, subscribe to become an official DollFAM squad supporter over on my Facebook page, where you will be able to unlock top secret DollFAM squad only footage. It'll be a lot of fun. We're just gonna kind of talk about some of these crazy screenshots I have and some of the crazy things that this dude said. I would just like to say to all of my male followers who know better and who are fantastic human beings, I definitely don't put you all in the same box, so never feel like because I'm talking about this type of person or this mentality that I automatically assume you're all the same. I am very big on people representing themselves and being accountable for their own behavior. I love my male fans. I love all of the support they give me, the funny stuff they send me. The interaction and support that you guys give me is just as important and equally accepted, and I am just as grateful of that as I am of my female supporters. I know this isn't necessarily 100% a topic you guys can all relate to. I'm sure some of you can. But just know that people are accountable for their own behavior, and I hold people accountable for their personal behavior. So please do not think that this is directed at men in general. because it's definitely not. But thank you for watching. Make sure you check out the DollFAM squad supporter information below. If you guys have a topic that you want discussed on Daily Dose of Doll, be sure to leave it in the comments below. If you've ever gotten a dick pic, leave the little eggplant emoji below. Do it. Men, women, anybody who's gotten an unsolicited dick pic, leave the dick pic emoji below, which is the eggplant. We all know that. Someday they'll probably be a real cock and balls. But until then, we're just stuck with the eggplant. Know that I love your face. Know that I appreciate each and every one of you. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And until next time, keep your dick in your pants unless somebody asks to see it. Just an idea.